Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is a paranormal romance recommendation video. I've not done one of these since 2023, and honestly, it's because I haven't really had any new recommendations. It's been dire out here. I'm not really sure what's happening, but all of my new favorites have not really been paranormal romance. They've been fantasy romance, sci-fi romance, etc., etc. The other issue is that all of my favorite paranormal romances of the last year or so have just been more in the same series and by the same authors, and so they're not new recommendations. They're just the next book in the series. Not paranormal. And let's get one thing straight. Paranormal romance is not the same thing as fantasy romance. Paranormal romance needs to happen in Earth, in my opinion. It needs to happen in Earth. There's the United States, there's Germany, there's India. It's our Earth, but with paranormal supernaturals. Like, I don't understand what's confusing here. You will not be getting a fantasy romance recommendation for me in this video. That's its own video. It's on the channel. This is just like a pet peeve of mine. It really, really is. Anyways, let's go through. First one I want to recommend is Shadow's Messenger, more specifically the entire Aileen Travers series by T.A. White. This first book, there's really no romance. The romance definitely escalates in books 2 and 3, and I have read through 6. There are 7 out. I don't think it's completed. Quite a few books have already had romance in them. But this is not my favorite type of setup. However, this is one of my favorite authors, so I had a lot of faith that the series would pan out for me, and it definitely did. So in this first book, which is all I can really tell you about, we have a baby vampire. She doesn't really know what is going on with the paranormal world. She is a courier. You cannot tell humans about the paranormal without them dying and you dying and being killed. So her family believes that she has PTSD and a alcohol problem, but really she was turned into a vampire right after returning from Afghanistan. So content warning for that, although it's not mentioned much. And of course, as one does, she gets herself involved in a murder mystery, and she's going around figuring things out, and there's a werewolf and there's a vampire. We've seen this play before. And you know what? It's a banger. There's a reason why we return to it time after time. And the werewolf in this first book, honestly, I couldn't tell who the love interest was, werewolf or vampire, because there's like equal screen time for both and interactions. But there is no sort of romance with the werewolf. It is just with the vampire. But in this first book, genuinely couldn't tell. And yeah, as one does, she gains power throughout the series. She, forms alliances and figures things out and yada, 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 yada. I'm a fan. So this is easily my new favorite recommendation to give you. I read 6 books in the series, so it's the biggest hit I've had in the last 2 years, which is sad but true. Then I have Given to the Ghoul by Desiree and Niccoli. This is a novella, and it's a steamy romance with a ghoul. Never really read that before. Thought this was excellently done. It's weird in the best way. And, her ghoul is going to help her get revenge on the people who tried to sacrifice her to him. And I, as it has been established time and time again on the channel, am a fan of revenge. So, I like people getting their just desserts when they try to abuse others. Then I have To Her Rescue, which is The Night Brothers #1 by Dria Andersen. I think that this is a really great place to start with Dria Andersen. If you are interested, this is a panther shifter and a witch, and she has an inheritance, and her family is trying to get that inheritance, and so they are going to do an arranged marriage, but he has always been really into her. She's always really been into him. He's like, hey, do you want this? And she's like, yes. And he is going to rescue her from her family because he is not going to stand for any sort of toxicity. He is not going to allow any disrespect or any harm to come to his mate. And his whole family is going to adopt her, and she's going to get the support system and the love and the affection and protection that she has always deserved, and is alphas who are not afraid of their emotions, who are very, very much part of their community and are willing and able to give communication and love to those around them, and will do any and everything for their mates. And I adore it. It's kind of cozy, low angst, but still enough of a plot. Black paranormal shifters mostly, and a delight in every way. Then I have Cold Hearted, which is Tooth and Claw #1 by Heather Guerre. This is, again, not my favorite of setups because she doesn't know that werewolves and vampires are real. I don't like when the fact that you're a paranormal is a conflict, and that is definitely the main conflict in this book because she moves to this Alaskan town, but it's actually all a werewolf pack, and she's a teacher, and she's trying to get away from her stalker ex. And obviously the biggest issue is they can't tell her that they're werewolves, and he can't tell her that he's a werewolf and she's his mate. Now, that does end up getting resolved. I don't even know why it was such an issue in the first place, whatever. The point is, I don't like that trope, and I still really liked this book, so I think that it was great. Again, this is like small town Alaskan paranormal, and the ex does come a knockin', and you know, they kill him. Which is my favorite type of ending. And then lastly, hello, it is the same day as I filmed this video. I made the notes for this video yesterday, I believe, and I have changed my mind. I've changed my mind on the recommendation. So I had one that was a repeat from times past, and I've replaced it with Her Vicious Beast by E.P. Bali. This is a Why Choose Rejected Mate, new adult academy / reformatory academy paranormal romance series. She has 5 fated mates. They're all different types of shifters. This is not only a signifier of her unique paranormal identity, which will be hunted for powers, but also kind of unheard of. So she has an abusive dad. She doesn't have any rights. She should be the princess of the snake court, but really, you know, she's treated like dirt. And you should read the prequel novella first. It is free from the author's newsletter, where she meets a couple of her fated mates, and also they believe the most ridiculous lie I've ever heard in my entire life and decide to get revenge on her, think that she has rejected them, yada yada yada. Is it the best? No, it's not the best. Sorry to those of you who think it is, but it's not the best. It's like a 4-star series for me. There are some that I like, some that I don't. The most recent book was my least favorite. I didn't like any of the tropes that were done in that book. And so I am kind of waiting on the release of the next book, which is book 4, not including the prequel novella. And they're long. They are very long. But that is coming out this spring, and I'm kind of gonna see what I think of that one to decide if I'm continuing the series or not, because things need fixed. I don't like what we did in this last book at all whatsoever, and I want to get out of Dodge. If we don't fix it, if we don't move on with our lives very, very quickly, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be annoyed. But yeah, they're all rejected mates. They're all, you know, top of the line mafia-esque shifters, head of their packs, yada yada. In each one of the main books, not including the introductory novella, in each one of the main books, they each are kind of accepting of the mate bonds. So we have 3 of the mates have accepted their mate bond. Again, yeah. Anyways, it's a recommendation. I have read multiple books of it, many hundreds of pages of it. I do like it. Okay. Listen, okay, the pickings are slim. What do you want from me? So that's it. This is a nice, sweet, and short one. These are some paranormal romance recommendations. I have a few of these videos on the channel. They're just old. Let me know if you have read or want to read any of these, if you have any recommendations for me, or any that you would like me to include in a try chapter video. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.